Whenever you have an important meeting with your team, your clients, your business partner, etc., there's always important topics and action items that need to be taken care of after that meeting. Well, what happens is a lot of times, like even say if you have an automatic note taker installed, yes, now the meeting is ended and the notes are saved in the note taker. But then if you have multiple people that need to take care of the action items, you need to get those specific action items that were talked about to those people so they can then execute those tasks. So that said, in this video, I'm gonna walk you through a process to where as soon as your meeting ends, those meetings from your note taker, in this case, we're gonna be using Fathom, automatically are sent to a project manager. In this case, we'll be using ClickUp. And then from there, they can be delegated to the right people so they can then take care of the tasks that need to be done. And what you'll end up with is something just like we have here. So in ClickUp, we have a task that was created as soon as this meeting was ended. It automatically populated the name of the meeting, the date and time stamp, and summary and action items. So, and it automatically laid it out and perfectly formatted, just like it was saved in the note taker, exported to here, all the action items and next steps. And on top of that, we were automatically able to extract that information and create subtasks. Now, this is a step specifically within ClickUp that whoever is assigned to this overall task will then be able to come in and execute this specific step of creating these tasks from the meeting notes and then delegate them to the right people. Make sure you stick around at the end of this video because this will be the last step in the process. All right, that said, let's go ahead and hop into it. So it all starts with your Fathom note taker. So let's go ahead and hop over to Fathom, and we're gonna have this opened up. That way, once the meeting is completed, the whole processing will take place quicker. This is not 100% necessary. A lot of times if you don't have it open in your browser, you can come in after the meeting and then it will start processing faster. Or you could even click in and basically where you see this copy summary, you can just click, it'll have generate summary, and you just click that and it'll automatically generate the summary, whichever one you prefer for it to generate. Now, as far as that goes, before, if you're new to Fathom and you don't have this set up yet, you're going to want to go to settings and you're going to come down and you're going to want to come down here to default meeting summary template. So in general, everyone's going to want to use the general summary. It's probably one of the best ones, the most common. It's basically going to break down the different topics, and at the end, it's going to give you action items or next steps, and that's going to really make it easy to kind of see what happened or what needs to be done from the meeting. But there are other options, like for example, Q&A, for example, if you were doing a lot of meetings related to HR interviews, you could have the summary set up in a QA style because there were a lot of questions and answers. So it's going to help sum up that in that way. Look through those when you're setting this up just to make sure you have the right ones selected for you in your case. Now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and pop over to Zapier because this is going to be kind of what makes it all happen behind the scenes. So I'm going to walk you through here exactly what I have set up. So the first thing you're going to want to do is come into Zapier, and we'll just start from the beginning, and you're going to go to create meeting, and you're going to click new Zap, and you're going to select the trigger as Fathom. Okay, and you're going to want to pick the latest, and then for the action, you're going to do ClickUp. Now I'm not going to set this up all over again, but yeah, that's basically what you would do. Oops, I forgot to put Fathom there. There we go. So that's basically what you would do. But let's go ahead and close this one, and I'll go back to the one I already have completed, and I'll walk you through exactly what you need to enter in each of the fields as I already have it populated. Okay, so let's back up, and we'll just discard that draft, leave, and we'll come back, and we'll come back into the one I already have created. So Fathom to ClickUp. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go to edit so you can more easily see, and I can click through the options. Okay, starting at the beginning. All right, so the trigger is basically going to be this. So the event you're going to pick is going to be new AI summary. You're gonna see different options here, but you're gonna wanna do the new AI summary. All right, so once you have that, you're good. Then you're going to go to the next step or click continue, and you're going to connect your Fathom account. If you don't have Fathom yet, go ahead and you're going to need to subscribe to the Pro plan. If you don't have Fathom yet, you're going to need to subscribe to the Pro plan for this to work. If you want a free trial, I'll have this referral code down in the link below. It'll give you 3 free months of premium for free, so you can try that out if you like. Back to it, you're going to come over to triggers next, and basically you're going to set the trigger on My Meetings. The other option is Team Meetings. If you have, if you have team calls set up, that is a different plan. If you have just the basic Fathom Pro, you're going to just have My Meetings. So you just pick that, continue, and then you're going to come over to test. And it's basically going to pull from different summaries. I've tested this a few times, so there's a few different summaries that it's already pulled. But once you pick a record that's existing in your meetings, you're definitely going to want to record some sort of meeting before you do this, whether just at least 1 minute long, record a meeting of yourself. And I'll show you how to do that here in a second because we're going to run a test, but then you'll have a record to be able to run this on a test on your own. So that way you can make sure it works before you actually get into real meetings. Then you're just going to click continue with selected record. It's going to run the test, make sure it all works, make sure it all pulls in the data, because then you're going to go over to the action that is going to be triggered by Fathom that we just set up. First step, you're going to choose the event. And again, this is exactly how you're going to need to set it up. So you're going to have it create a task. Okay. And then next you're going to click continue or click over to the next tab here, and you're going to set up or connect your account. So in this case, for me, it was ClickUp Nick. It depends on how you have ClickUp set up. Again, ClickUp is completely free. I'll leave a link down for ClickUp also. Then next you're going to go over to action. So this is where you're going to actually have to set up. So here I'm going to walk you through each of these fields so you don't get confused and you make sure you have all the right info. So workspace is going to be a little different for each person, and it's going to be dependent on how you set it up. So just really quickly, let me hop over to ClickUp and I'll give you a brief. I don't know why everything's highlighted here. Hang on 1 second. There we go. Okay, so right now we have a couple different spaces, as they call them in ClickUp, and I have this kind of let me just move this out of the way. I guess simplify this a little bit so it's not as loud or confusing. So just ignore everything down here. The main thing we're going to be focused on is right here. So in our Sellers Arena space, this is for our other agency. In the operations list, we have, or operations folder, I should say, we have an operations list. And in this operations list is where we're going to be populating the meetings that we're recording from Fathom. And as you can see, we already have a couple meetings that have populated here. And once we get through this, and at the end of this video, we'll see a third one here, as that I'll be recording a test meeting, and we'll see a third one pop up here, and we can walk through exactly how to set things up after that. So basically, I'm showing you this part here because when you set up ClickUp beforehand, you're going to then have to pick where you want your meetings to then be stored. Okay, so back over to Zapier. Okay, so we've got the workspace, the Sellers Arena team. So we've got the space is gonna be the Sellers Arena space. Again, folders, SA operations, and you're gonna see a list of all different options down here when you click on any of these. Okay, so it can just depend on which folder you want it to go in. All right, and then the list, as we said before, was operations. So again, it's going to give you a few different lists. As you can remember, we also had an automation and development. We had an operations routine list also, but we want just the operations list in this case. Skip template in this case. Now for this part, this is where we want, as soon as when it populates, we want the meeting title to populate, and we want the date and timestamp to populate. And this is just some fixed text to kind of describe what's going to be in this task. So that's what you see here. We can come in here and we can put in the meeting title. So any new meetings, this is just generic placeholder, but it's going to basically pull in that title of the meeting from whichever meeting was just recorded. So in here, you're gonna see these options here. And you could pull in different things depending on what you were wanting to include in the title. But basically, this is to set it up the way I'm going over in this video. You're going to want the meeting title to populate, and you're going to want the scheduled start time, which is going to give you, basically let you know when that meeting was, because you may have, a meeting that's called the same thing every week, but then you have that date and timestamp to kind of separate and know which one it was from when it was. And then this is just something I typed in, summary and action items, because that's basically what this is. Now, this could change for you again, like say if it was an HR meeting, could be interview notes or interview Q&A. You can set this up however you like for that specific part. All right. Now, in the next task description, you're going to, again, click on this drop down, and you can include anything you like, but mainly the main things we're going to want to put in here is going to be the recording URL. This way, when the meeting notes are created, when the task is created in ClickUp, they would be able to refer back to the Fathom meeting through this link. That way they could actually listen to it, the whole thing, review it, whatever they need to do. But next, we're also going to populate in here the AI summary plain text formatted. Now you're going to see a few different options here. Just make sure you grab that specific one, AI summary plain text formatted. And that will lay it out really nicely in the description of the ClickUp task. Leave that alone. Leave that. Assignees, this is where you're going to assign it to whoever would be the person responsible for delegating these tasks in ClickUp. In this case, it'd just be myself for this example. The task status in ClickUp, we're just going to leave that to open. Or you could do assigned if you already knew. It just depends on how you want to set that up. Tags, we don't need that in this case. Priority, this could be, again, depends on you. In this case, it's normal priority. And then due date, start date, in this case, we're going to leave that alone. We're going to leave it up to the person actually delegated. When they get in there, they're going to delegate and set the due dates for each specific task. So that'll be taken care of later. Then you're going to click continue, and then you're going to run a test. Okay, so once you run the test, it should automatically populate the meeting contents and everything here. So let's close that out. And what we're going to do right now is I'm going to go ahead and open up a Zoom meeting, and we're going to go ahead and put this in action. Okay, so let's go ahead and hop into Zoom. We're going to start a new meeting. And so this is how you're going to, so this is how you have to run a test specifically with Fathom. You're going to go ahead and click start recording. And the note taker is going to go ahead and join. But what you're going to have to do here is go ahead and, because it's going to be waiting for attendees, and we'll see the next thing pop up here. You're going to skip and start recording now. All right, so I just recorded some meeting contents. As you can see, I'm still in the same meeting. I'm going to go ahead and end that now. Let's go ahead and end for all. And let's pop over to ClickUp, and we'll just wait a second here for this to populate. Okay, as you can see here, we have our new meeting that just populated. It just took about maybe a minute or so for processing. Sometimes it can take a little longer. Again, you can walk away from it and come back later and it should be good. But basically then, once you have the meeting populated, it should already be assigned to the person that's responsible for this. Like we said, you can come in here and let's see what we have here. So we have the title. It was just an impromptu meeting. That was the automatic title generated when I just did a random impromptu meeting. You have the date and timestamp, and then summary and action items. We also wanted it to populate the meeting link so we can easily pop over to the meeting and watch it and get the transcript, actually watch the video, review it here. We could skip to different sections. We could even generate different summaries if we needed to, or that the person responsible could if they needed to. But back to ClickUp. So the next step here is we're going to click show more. So the person responsible for doing this could come in here, they could review everything, And this is the really cool thing that you can do with ClickUp specifically that I really love. We can go ahead and create subtasks based on this meeting. With the help of AI, we can suggest subtasks based on these meeting notes. So down here, we have record educational YouTube video, determine post video employee action items, and investigate ClickUp subtask automation. Now, these are kind of random things I was just kind of talking about while I had the recording pause in the interest of saving time. But let's see what we had here. Action and record educational video, automating summaries, action items, and ClickUp, discuss other action items for employees after video, explore automating subtask creation. Next step, record action. Okay, determine other employee, investigate ClickUp subtask. Yeah, so you can see how these are pretty much based on exactly what was covered in that test meeting. Now, so if you're good with those, you could go ahead and create a couple of them or just one of them, or so you can create those. And it'll automatically be set up, and then you could edit them as you need. Come in, add descriptions, add assignees, priorities, due dates. You can add more columns here, but that's basically it. So whenever you have a meeting now, if you're using this specific setup, you can then have those meeting notes automatically put into ClickUp, so where they can then easily be translated into subtasks in ClickUp. So then you can relax knowing that any important topics or action items that you discussed in your meeting will be taken care of. That said, guys, if you don't have ClickUp or you don't want to use ClickUp, I did another video where I showed how you could take Fathom and send it over to Google Docs. So I'll link that video down below also if you want to check that out. But in the meantime, if you got some value out of this video, definitely give me a like and subscribe for more, as we'll be going over a lot more videos on automations like this. Also a lot more advanced ones using AI. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next one.